Good evening and welcome to the Down the Lane podcast with three very happy people. Tonight you've got myself, you've got Miles smiling, and Rob down there smiling as well.
Big one.
So, guys, tell us what you're thinking. 5-2 at the weekend away at Dover. Um, Give us your thoughts.
I don't drink Carlsberg, but if Carlsberg does away days, I think there's a saying, isn't it? Like that was absolutely class. It's probably one of my favourite borough games of all time. Atmosphere wise, we were absolutely electric. I don't think I've ever seen a borough away ends like a rave, pretty much, which is what it felt like for 90 minutes. And on the pitch, in other than the critic in me with the two goals we conceded, we were pretty much flawless. You could clearly see Tommy's style come into effect. I asked him to start Jaden Davis, and he did start Jaden Davis, and he was absolutely dynamite. So thank you, Tommy, for listening to me. I know you listen. So yeah, I mean, 1 to 11, absolutely superb, all over the pitch, and it was lovely to see everyone so happy, really, after many a times we haven't been so happy this season. We're coming in moaning. So yeah, thoroughly deserved. It was nice to silence over 4,000 people from Kent for a very strong message and good travelling support.
Well, as Miles touched on there, I think there were two performances that were outstanding on Saturday. There was the players on the pitch started positively. I think it did us a favour. Yes, there were two penalties, but getting those two goals ahead, I think it gave them all the confidence then just to press on and actually force the game. So players, fans as well. I thought everyone sang their hearts out all game. There was very sore throats on the way back down on the coach. If you want to be picky where we can improve, I think the goals were soft that we conceded, which there is a continuing pattern with that. But when you score 5, you can concede 2. So that was good. And Freddie's second yellow, I don't know what the referee's playing at with that one. As if he's going to be wasting time with 5 minutes left.
Just jump in there, Rob. We spoke to Freddie in the services, and he said that he didn't hear the referee's whistle from the foul, and then he obviously, as he didn't hear it, he was defending, so cleared the ball away, and the ref thought he was as you say, what, time wasting, but booting the ball away essentially, which is it's an absolute joke.
Just clearing the ball, as you'd expect a defender to do. You play to the whistle. If you don't hear the whistle, you clear the ball. There's absolutely no logic there that he would be wasting time. So I think that was absolutely laughable from the referee. It just goes to show yet again the referees at this level, they want to get in the limelight as well because they want to progress up the league. So at times they make calls and decisions that they're thinking up themselves in their own head. So I thought that was laughable. 2 penalties. Other than that, I think just dominant throughout the game. 3 different goals, taking away the 2 penalties, 3 different goals. Jaden's finish, yes, it did get a deflection, but do you know what? He's taken the shot, and that's what we haven't done enough of up to this point in this season. We work the spaces, but we don't take the shots. And I think that's what looked so much different by getting ahead on Saturday. That's really what gave everyone the confidence to express themselves.
And I mean, agree with you that, and jumping in again on what Miles said, I had a bit of a chat with Freddie, and he said to me, look, it just doesn't make sense for me to be time wasting there. So yeah, he was disappointed with that, but he just said, look, he didn't hear the whistle, and if he hasn't heard the whistle, he's gonna carry on playing the game, But it was our free kick, right? If there was a whistle anyway, it was going to be our free kick. So he said, why would I kick the ball away for my own free kick? He said, because if I want to waste time, I'm just going to take time taking the free kick. So he was disappointed with that, but he just said, look, it's just one of them things that happened. I just want to touch on what you guys said there. I mean, I didn't have a lot of voice left at the end of the game, and I did try and calm everyone down just to say that every single person that was there on Saturday needs to give themselves a big pat on the back, because I mean, I don't think for 1 minute there was 4,000 odd there. It looked like that to me, although it's a ground that holds 6,500. So, but I don't think there was that many there. But however many were there, we was heard from minute one till well after the final whistle. And I think Tommy, when he's chuckling in his interview saying, 1 minute I'm watching them do the conga and then the next minute they're doing the Poznan, we just had a great time, right? And I think we've been owed that. I think our travelling support's been good all season. We've stuck with the guys. We haven't had it easy, especially in the Matt Gray times. We didn't have it very easy, but we stuck with them. We tried to be noisy. But I mean, for the amount of time I've been watching Borough, and me and Miles were having this conversation on the way home. I think that has to go down as my best ever away game, and that includes the playoff final up at Stevenage, where we won to go into the National League. So, yeah. Fantastic day. Players, I couldn't pick a man of the match. I think they all played their part. You can certainly see the Tommy ethos now coming out of high pressing and pushing forward every opportunity. Let's not mess about with it. But let's not play the long ball. Sometimes we have to play it long, but let's get it up the field and let's have a go at the at scoring goals, which is what Tommy's all about, right? He doesn't mind conceding two if you're going to score three. Same as so I'm going to rename him Jurgen Widrington now, playing the old Klopp style of football. But he can be named whatever he wants if he carries on getting performances like that out of the boys. He can call himself what he likes. So obviously, we move on to a big weekend coming up, or a big week coming up, where we've got Worthing and we've got Tunbridge. We're going to be joined soon by Jacco from Worthing. But before he comes in, what's your thoughts on that? I'll go with you first, Rob. What's your thoughts? Worthing at home, Boxing Day, nice early start. Apart from the fact, of course, that you need a taxi in the morning.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, to be honest, I feel for the Worthing guys having to get over for that one. Boxing Day, right after Christmas. I don't know if there's any public transport at all or anything. So I'm hoping that they've got themselves some coaches and that sorted. Because we're not an easy place to get to, even when you have got public transport. So good luck to them. But in terms of the game, our result on Saturday hasn't changed my concerns for Boxing Day. Because I said to Simon after the match, it's great when we get results like that, but at the moment, you kind of feel that's what the end result will be, but you just don't know what way it's going to go. Is it going to be 5-2 to us or 5-2 to them? In some respects, I think had we had a tighter game on Saturday, we might have improved our chances against Worthing. I think the result we've had, they'll be switched on now. They're not going to come thinking it's going to be a nice little easy walkover, which is kind of what I think we were hoping for, was they would get them on an off day. But at the same time, we have scored 5 goals. So hopefully now they won't come think it's going to be an easy one, and they're going to have to think twice about attacking. But it's going to be very early on, I think it will be decided how that game's going to pan out. It's whoever gets on the front foot early, I think, will dictate the match for the rest of the 90 minutes.
Just touching on the transport first of all. I just checked train line. There's trains from Worthing to Pevensey and Westham, so I think they'll be able to get there. All right. Yeah. I think they're allowed 500 and something or other, which I imagine they'll sell out because it's on their doorstep. It's a derby and they're top of the league, right? So you'd imagine they'll get a full allocation filled. And as for the game itself, I'm pleased that someone else. I know Barry's get onto it, but feeling similar. I was hoping I wouldn't be the Scrooge coming on here after a 5-2 win and being sort of pessimistic. Well, I think they're valid concerns, right? Are we not just playing any old team in National League South? This is, arguably the team of the league currently, and a team that since Hinshelwood's come in are by far the top team in the league. I'm not sure exactly what the table would like since he's come in, but they've only lost like one game, right? Down at Torquay, we know how tough that can be. So yeah, it's gonna be a very, very tough challenge. And if we're gonna win, we got to score at least 3, I think. So I don't see a world they don't score 2 personally. Like if Dover could put 2 past, I know not every game's the same, etc. And we might, get a blinder from the keeper, or they might get a red card. Anything can happen, right? And they're not Real Madrid; they're only Worthing. In the grand scheme of things. But I still fully expect them to be absolutely all over us from the start. Hinshelwood will get them up for the game. It's a derby. A lot of their players, I think, know the meaning of the derby a lot more now as well. So we got a few boys that have played it before, but Carter will play, I think, because he's suspended for Tunbridge, I believe. Dan has played it before, but he looks like he's not in favour currently. Jaden will start, and Jaden's played the game last year, so he's got that sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Wants to get avenge the result last year where they came to us and could have won the league off that result. But yeah, I mean, a lot of their players that Worthing have got currently, they've got that sort of big game experience, and they sort of know what it like, how you got to perform in a derby, right? But yeah, I was just looking back through the previous meetings between Tommy and Adam Hinshelwood, because Tommy mentioned in his interview, and I thought, oh yeah, he's managed against him before, hasn't he, for Aldershot against York. And yeah, let's say the record's not pretty. He got absolutely pumped up at York by Hinshelwood 7-2 in April. So, and I can't imagine either of them have changed their system since then. So yeah, and we know what Hinshelwood can do against teams that play 3-5-2, exactly as Tommy plays currently, because that was the exact same system that Beard used when we got pumped 7-0 over 2 games. So Barry's probably wondering why he got me on now, because I'm just basically being negative and I'm saying we've got no chance. But we've got if we can start well and hit them early, like Rob said, and show them his boss, like he needs to have a fast start in these games. Then if we can get the crowd inside, then anything can happen, right? But I just think it's going to be a very, very tall order. And just to throw in another little fun fact I found out is that we've only won the one game all season on an artificial pitch. That'll be home or away, and that'll be the Hampton and Richmond game. And obviously we're on an artificial pitch on Saturday. And Worthing have won fair few games artificial pitches. Haven't counted them up, but I imagine they're doing all right, given they won 5-0 at the weekend and they won 5-0 before that as well. So yeah, as ever, Worthing are massively threatening. I just don't see us having much chance, but you never know. So I'm going to stop rambling now and let Barry talk.
So I mean, I'm similar really. I think we need. It's going to be a big day. It's an early start, so everyone's going to be fresh. With it being a 12:30 kickoff, or maybe not so fresh if they've had a heavy Christmas day. I know Worthing have got a few coaches coming as well, but they're leaving at 8:30 in the morning, so I'm not quite sure how much traffic they're expecting on the road on Boxing Day. But I thought it's going to be quite, I thought it'd been quite an easy run. But and I don't know if Wetherspoons is open Boxing Day, but if Wetherspoons in town is open on Boxing Day, I think they might do a roaring trade, because I know obviously but the gates open at 10. I think what you've got to look at is that the weekend we had probably 110, 120 in that corner, and the noise we made. And last time when Worthing came, they were quite noisy. It wasn't segregated, obviously, but they got their little gang together that stayed in that area, and they were quite noisy. And I think that's the thing. They're gonna be all pushed into one corner now, Even the boys that don't sing, because I noticed there was a few that had come and stood with us on Saturday that probably wouldn't always sing, but they were singing every word, right? And they was enjoying themselves. And I think, sometimes you need that around you. So I think, as Tommy has said time and time again on the pitch, we need leaders. But I think we need that in the stands as well. We need to make sure that, we're giving it, because we don't seem to do that at home. The away support on a number of occasions has been really, really strong. But then at home we seem to get split up, and I just urge everybody that wherever we're standing, I know Miles is deserting the River End for a family tradition of for a family tradition of sitting in the stands, which we may, guys, be starting a little vote, a little poll to stop this tradition, because it's been going on now for the last 2 Boxing Days. And I'm not going to give you the results, but if you'd like to go back and look at the results over the last 2 Boxing Days, you'll see that Miles's family haven't seen us score many goals, and they haven't seen us gain any points.
They have come to, can I just caveat that? They have come to other games, and we have won. So
I'm talking about the Boxing Day one.
Okay, fair enough. I was trying to save
this tradition that you're sitting in the stands with them on Boxing Day. So So look, I think we need to. I think noisy in the stands. I think the players are going to be on a real high, and probably now is the time to face Worthing. But again, Worthing are going to be on a high. But I mean, I see slightly different to what you said, Rob. In some ways, you were saying about Worthing might have come and thought it's going to be an easy ride, but now they've got to come and play. I'm hoping that, because every manager the away managers or the opposition managers that I've watched their interviews since Tommy's come in, and that includes Mark at Dorking, that includes the guy on Saturday. They said, look, these results have been coming, right? We've been watching Eastbourne, and their performances have started picking up. So guaranteed Hinch has been doing that as well. Hinch has been looking, thinking, right, Tommy's going to get these going, and it's a matter of time. And now Tommy's got us going, right? That 6-0 win would have against Hampton would have made a few people stand up and take notice, then going and getting beat at 4-2 at Dorking. But even Mark saying that actually we were probably as good as them, if not the better side on the day. That all takes a bit, and these managers that and other players are going to look at that. So I'm hoping that rather than them coming over thinking, right, we've got to step it up now, I'm hoping that they're thinking, hang on a minute, Eastbourne are turning into it as something, and actually, rather than putting them right, we've got to step up, putting a bit of doubt in their mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just on that, Barry, as well. I just think there's sort of no chance that Worthing aren't massively up for this game. They've got a load of players that are very good pros, and Hinchelwood will have the mindset that you treat every game the same, whether that be a game against bottom of the league, which we nearly are, or one of their title rivals. So yeah, he's been there and done it to some extent. I know he's never won a league, or I think he did actually win the Ishbiam League when they were in it, but before Jacco can tell me that. But yeah, never actually won our league or the league above. But yeah, they'll be bang up for. They won't need any reminding to be on form. We just got to hope they have too much turkey and mulled wine the day before, I think.
Yeah, no, I think what I was aiming at was that rather than them coming with the mindset of, like Rob said, it's an easy game, and we've got to step it up, rather than that they might have that little bit of doubt in their mind, and just that slight doubt in a player's mind can obviously affect their performance. But I'm sure Jacco, who's joining us now from Worthing. Hi, Jacco.
Evening. How are we?
Yeah, we're all good. I'm sure you're going to have different opinions on that, and you think that your players will be coming over here all firing.
I like to say there's no easy games in this league. We know that. Look at the results over the weekend just gone. Do I think we are favourites for Boxing Day? Yeah, I think we are. The football we're playing since Hinch is back. Anybody knows our history. We had to score 5 to win a game, 5-4. Now we score 5 and we don't concede either at the moment, which is really good. We got some absolute class players who should be in this league, should be playing a lot higher. Confidence is high, but you never know what happens on Boxing Day, do you? It could be an absolute boring game, and or it could be a fantastic game, and the result could go either way. You never know.
Kind of what we were touching on earlier, which is for us, it's we're expecting 7 goals in a game. We just don't know which team's going to be getting them.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed about Boxing Day because obviously after what happened last year, it's segregation, the 12 o'clock kickoff. I don't. I think segregation doesn't help sometimes. But we always used to go to Eastbourne and we had a great day out. I always found it a great day out. Have a chat, then have a bit of banter after the game, shake hands and go home. And I think this year that's missing a bit. And hopefully next year we're back to normal, or hopefully we're up. But you know what I mean? It's for me, it's a bit of a negative point for Boxing Day. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to it. I like coming over that way.
Yeah, and I think we're looking forward to having you. Apart from the fact that we've all sort of said at the moment that we think we're going to struggle, and we think you'll probably be taking the points back with you. But if we put in the performance that we put in Saturday, that's on the field and off the field. It is going to be more of a daunting game for you, and that's it. That's probably come at the right time for us. I think you could have come at the right time for us in the fact that, I don't think that the way we were on Saturday, I don't think it was just the fact that we were playing Dover, because we were singing and we were loud from, sort of pre-kickoff really. And I think that was the excitement of Christmas, whether people had a few on the coach on the way up or before they got on the coach. And Tommy was right that they'd had a little bit of Christmas cheer. But I mean, we were saying earlier before you joined us, I've been watching Burrows, a long time now, and that probably goes down as my best ever away day. And it was just a fantastic day, and I think that's what we need to do against you. We need to make it a bit of an atmosphere. I'm sure your guys will as well. I mean, you've got your singing guys, and I'm sure you'll be joining in with them, Jacco, in the segregated bit there, and giving us a bit of banter back, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think it should be. But going back to your game over the weekend, I thought it was a great idea from Dover to let everybody in for free. You get 4,200 people there, and obviously the more people you get, the better the atmosphere is, isn't it? It's a shame that the result didn't go for their way, but yeah, I think I don't know how many tickets you sold. I think we still got a few 100 left. I think was early this morning, so I don't know how many you sold. Like how many people will be there. Last year it was quite a big crowd, and the bigger the crowd, the greater atmosphere.
I just want to ask you a question, really, like Jacco, with the season like so far, because you're obviously probably the league favourite, so you probably don't want to say that, but on the form, you definitely are. Since Hinchwood's come in, you've only lost one game. I said it early in the pod. Is there a bit of a pressure expectation around the club, especially from George, your chairman? You've had what good 3 years now, title fighting in National League South. You've got to get done at some point, haven't you?
Is there pressure? I don't know. Obviously, the start of the season wasn't great. Then Aggie left. He went to Sutton, and then the merry-go-round started. Who's coming in? Hinch came back, and the results started coming our way. Are we the favourite? I'm not sure. Based on the last couple of weeks, the last 10 games, you might say we are. But you never know. We had a few injuries, and Hinch keeps saying the squad is quite small. He thinks we need a few more players. But if you get a few injuries, a few bookings, it could turn the other way. It's and like in Holland, we've got a saying: the ball is round. That means anything can happen in football. But if we keep playing like we've been playing the last 10 games, and especially the last couple of games at home, I don't think there's not many teams that can beat us.
No, as you say, I think only really like Dorking that could probably put a challenge up to you currently. Maybe Torquay, but they've sort of been a bit inconsistent. But as you say, like with the injuries and the suspension, I think a fully fit Dawkins side is as good, if not better, than you lot. Arguably, and they've been there and done it. But yeah, they've got a lot of injuries currently, haven't they? So you're playing them right on Tuesday night, I think, after us. So it's a good time to play them as well.
And I think, agreed, Dawkins got many good players, but I think it's, if you look at all the couple of seasons they had, they always have massive injury issues. Every season they got, excuse me, 1 or 2 players who are injured. It's a part of the game, but, we'll see. You never know. I like to think we can win it. I like to think we're favourites, but you never know. As long as it doesn't end up like last year, where 7 people could win the title on the last day. I can't have that anymore.
I doubt that'll happen. I think it'll be only 2 or 3 in the mix this time.
Yeah, but then again, it's still, we're only halfway, not even halfway through. It's a long way to go still, and I think the next couple of months will be very weather dependent as well. If people haven't got a 3G pitch and you got all the grass pitch and games are cancelled, and yourself last year we had 4 games in hand, and we didn't make it. We screwed it up. So I'd rather have the points on the board, and I think if the weather turns bad, we got a backlog of games that might play a bit of a factor towards the end.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. Just to ask you as well about your squads, because you had Brad Dollahan when he was basically like, it was with Pierce at one point, wasn't he? I remember he scored away at Yeovil, wasn't it? You might have been there.
Yeah.
In 23-24, and he was sort of like touted to be the Pierce replacement or like play alongside Pierce, and then he went to West End and he got poached. Obviously came back, he's league top goal scorer, even though we have got the second league top goal scorer now. The only shining light in our season, one of our only shining lights our season. But yeah, how good's he been, and what sort of threat will he pose us on Saturday? I'm so used to it being a weekend on Friday.
I know.
Yeah.
Brett is really good, and they used to call him the sniffer because he's there to sniff the goals. And you see, he poaches goals. He's just in the box and he scores goals. Like on Saturday, Turner spilled the ball and he's there just to kick it in the goal. He is good, but if you look at whoever scored for us, any player on the pitch can score goals at the moment. It's not just, we don't rely on attackers. Joel Colburn got 5 or 6. A right back. Toby Byron on the left, he got one on Saturday. Rastak can score. So, even Brett is fantastic. Anybody can score for us at the moment. But Brett, he is good. He is really good. And he's only young.
Yeah, it's very, very good talent. I mean, you should say you've scored 49 goals in the league this season so far, which before Christmas is absolutely sensational. So I think we're expecting a bit of a basketball game on Saturday if our last few results are anything to go by. Yeah,
well, it could be 1-1 draw, couldn't it?
I doubt it.
Well,
it could be 0-0.
Or a 0-0, yeah.
No, it won't be 0-0. I'll put my house on that. I
don't
even have a house, but I'll put it on
definitely
anyway.
won't be 0-0.
No,
there'll be a lot of goals. We just don't know what way they're going to go.
Just going back to what you were saying a minute ago. Oh, sorry. Go on, Rob.
As I say, touching on, like you're saying with how last season went, I think what's happened, what I've seen from you guys so far this season is you've learned from what happened last season and you're fixing it. Whereas you look at what's happened with us, it's been a complete roots up change and it hasn't worked. Whereas it looks like for you guys, it's been a tweak and you've made the changes you need to make and you're on the right trajectory to get there for the end of the season. So what's different this season to last season that you guys have seen from the stands?
Last season was Aggie's first season, really. Hinch is his 3rd time managing the club again. And I think last year, not winning the title, not going up, had a knock-on effect on the management team. This is my personal view. I think Aggie, I don't know what happened to him. It looks like he had a bit of a knock. And for some reason, it didn't work this year. And Hinch came in. And apart from one signing, George Cox, it's the same team, and suddenly he gets him playing. It's just Hinch's first game was Forest Green. He had a free hit. We played all right, and after that, I don't know. It's just, is Hinch a good manager? Yeah, of course he is. He's fantastic. But it's also his assistant John Meany, who came from Sutton. Those two, they're really going for it, and I think they get the group going. But also, I think Hinch was used to the environment of a full-time team. We're full-time now, training 4 times a week. That I think that will help. But I think we're seeing the belief. Hinch has to believe that we can win it. And I think it shows on the pitch, and I think it drops off on the crowd.
Just going back to what you were saying there, Jacco. I mean, I went up last when you got beat at Hornchurch. I went up to that game, and I made a comment. I was giving updates to the fans that were at home because I was the only one there, and I thought on the touchline that day, and certainly in the interview afterwards, Aggie looked a bit of a broken man. And I think that for me, if you go back and look at that interview, the interview that he had after the Hornchurch game, it just seemed to be, because you was in that position where you were like 5 points clear and it was yours to throw away. And we was in that season where everybody that was top was trying to throw it away, right? No one seemed to want to win the league. We said this in the group pod. But I just look back at that interview, and if you go back and look at that, I'm sure it'll be still on your site. He just looked to me at that point to be a broken man, and I think the cracks started to show there with Aggie, and they just never healed over the summer. Going back to what you were saying about favourites, I've just got the odds up for you. You are clear favourites to win the league, so it is yours to throw.
Bookies do get it wrong sometimes.
Don't give us this. Come on.
But regarding Aggie, I'm not going to say what he said to us, but we did an end of season podcast for ourselves, and he couldn't make it. I think he was on holiday, but he made a few comments, and you thought that something is not right. And I think not winning the league, I think took his confidence took a knock, and I've got we always get on very well with Aggie. He always gave us lots of time for the podcast, and he always told us things that were happening. He was very open and honest, and I think him moving to Sutton is the best thing for him, and I think us getting Adam back is the best thing for the club. So I think we both benefited from him, Aggie moving on, and Adam coming back. And that, I see Aggie, I still say hello to him, and I've got nothing against him. We had the most successful season under him. So, that's football, isn't it? But I agree with you. I think something happened, and he took a knock, his confidence.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, I think that he took a knock before the end of the season, and that probably, hindered your running and hindered that chance that you had. And let's be fair, was it the pressure that was on him? You've been there the 2 years before. It was your third year that you were up there, and it was always a matter of when Worthing were going to get promoted rather than if. And obviously he probably wanted to be the man to do it, and yeah, was it just the pressure that got on him?
No, I don't think he will admit it, but also I think after the Welling game, the Hornchurch game, there were a bit grumbles from the supporters towards the team and the management, rightly or wrongly. Whatever happened, but it doesn't help, But like I said before, there were 7 teams who could win the league last year. Should have been us. Yeah, if you go back, look at the season we had. If we didn't draw with St Albans at home last couple of minutes, Torquay exactly the same. That's 4 points there. We would have won the league, but
you back. I'll knock you back on that one and say if Sam Beard hadn't have been Maradona saving the ball, then we would have won the league, right? So,
Yeah, and then again, if we played with 11 men on, if we hadn't had players sent off, we would have won the game, I think. But it's it's all ifs and buts, isn't it?
of course it is.
And
And it's what makes football, right? It's what makes us love this game that we want to pull our hair out for. And Rob's managed to find the way to do that.
Yeah, I think when you lost your manager after last season, and then you got a lot of young players, very young players, not that experienced. And I think, unfortunately, you're paying the price for that this season.
And that's the thing with you. You kept a lot of your squad together, whereas we had a massive change. And from experience, you look at us when we went up into the National League. We went up with players that had been playing with us from the county league days, and I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. Them players were not, and they will admit that they were not the quality to play in the fifth highest league in this country. But the reason they got there was because they played together for so long that they were like Ferguson's Man United, where he would just draw in what he needed, but he kept the basis of the squad together, and we had that. So obviously, experience of playing with each other is massive, and we lost that this season for whatever reason, and we had to rebuild, and when you have to rebuild, you've got to start with the foundations, and we probably thought we had the right foundations. We realised that they probably weren't as strong as we needed them to be, so we had to, that change was made, and obviously Tommy's come in. So Friday, we look forward to seeing you Friday, Jacco.
I can't wait. I can't wait to come over, mate. It's like I said, I always like all the Eastbourne, and I'm just very disappointed that a few people spoiled it for the rest of us. And that I have to say credit to Worthing. They are stamping it out. They take an action to home games, away games. There's a bit of a bigger police presence, but also our stewards at some away games, just to kick out the idiots. Let's be honest, they're idiots, and they're spoiling for all of us. I remember a couple of years ago going to you when you had Mark Baird as your manager, and I don't know who I spoke to, one of your supporters. He said, "I hope you win today because I want to get rid of the manager." We obliged that day, but that's how it should be, isn't it? We should come over there, bit of banter, have a laugh, and end of the game, shake hands, and we go home. And all the trouble around it, it's not needed. It's spoils it for me.
I agree with that, and I think probably everyone on this pod agrees that it's not what we want to see. When we come to you or when you come to us or whatever, it's not. It's non-league football, right? All right, I know we're getting to the levels of professional now. We're at the top of non-league football, but no football should be like that, right? That's taking it back into the days of the 80s, and it's not good.
But the problem is, though, it's a few people who cause the issues, and then they see another Worthing supporter being associated with the other people, and I think that is wrong, and I don't like it. And I've got no problem calling people out on the day to point to stewards and say X, Y, Z, and I think more people should do it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I see the other two nodding as well. So, yeah, look forward to seeing you then on Friday. One of us will catch up with you afterwards to have a little interview with you. Hopefully, we're going to be smiling and you're not. But
we'll see. We'll see.
But obviously, all of us here wish you and everyone watching a very happy Christmas. And we will see you all on Boxing Day.
Predictions.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You've got predictions.
Oh, sorry, I've forgotten the predictions. Right, sorry. Before we go, I'm not looking forward to this. Right, we're going to predict. First, we're going to go to you first, Jacco. Predictions.
I'll stick my neck out. I'm going 5-0 us.
Oh,
Blimey.
He's just stabbed me. He's just stabbed me.
Sorry.
Rob. No.
There's a part of me that thinks I can't disagree with that prediction. It's not one I want to give. No, I think there'll be a lot of goals, as we said before. It could end up being a 3-3. It could end up being a 4-0 to anyone. So I'm going to be hopeful and say we're going to end up winning 3-2.
Like your optimism, Miles.
I'm going to go somewhere in the middle, but not a draw. I think we probably could get a draw. I think maybe a win's ambitious. But I thought all week would be 3-1 Worthing. I think they'll have too much. We will definitely score. I don't see us not scoring. Unless Worthing are this tight ship now with the recent clean sheets. But I'll back us to score, so 3-1. I just hope it will be a good competitive game. We're just saying about sort of fans and that sort of thing. Everyone wants to back their team, right, and just get behind your club and make it a good day, right? Everyone wants to have a nice post-Christmas game. So get behind your side and hopefully we'll treat it to a good one.
Yeah, and again, that's why I put you next, Rob, after Jacco went 5-0, because part of me couldn't disagree that it could possibly be that scoreline as well. So I'm going to say it's going to be more. I'm going to say, because I need to get one right. So I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere between Eastbourne Borough 0 and Eastbourne Borough 3, and Worthing 0 and Worthing 5.
I still think that could be wrong as well. It could be 6-4. If it was 6-4, would you be shocked? Like, would you actually be shocked if it was 6-4?
No, I probably wouldn't.
I thought on Saturday we were 4-0 up after 30 minutes.
Exactly.
We all think could be a 7-8-0 here. But it wasn't. But
don't say 7-0. You'll remind us about our trip to Torquay, right? You just had to get that one in, Jacco.
Bob's off the podcast and PTSD still. Yeah.
It's that, and then you look at Chelmsford, where we're 2-0 down in 5 minutes. It's we have got to start well, or it could be a Torquay.
Apple crumble.
Yeah. So serious prediction from me. I think it will be a good game, but I think we may just let your poacher in to do the damage that he is doing to many other clubs. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-1 to you guys as well. I hope I'm wrong. Me and Miles have both predicted losses the last week, and we went 1-5-2 at Dover. Yep. So we've actually had a little ploy that we were gonna predict that we were getting beat anyway, in the hope that it works for this week. So anyway, guys, have a very good Christmas. We hope to see you all down the lane on Boxing Day, and then we will hopefully be getting one of these in before the Tunbridge game, which is on the Tuesday after. But it just depends on obviously family commitments and stuff like that. But we will try and get a short pod in before the Tunbridge game, and hopefully we'll have the post-match interview with Jacco, and we'll have someone on from Tunbridge as well to be on that podcast. So guys, have a good Christmas, and we'll see you down the lane on Boxing Day.
Have a good Christmas all.
Have a good Christmas, and thanks for having me.
Happy Christmas.
And I'll see you on Boxing Day.
You're welcome, Jacco. See you later.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.